semi. If you want T, top. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be going over a nice unboxing of the Novritsch SSR4 MK2. So I recently just ordered this in and yeah, I'm excited to get it open. It took a little while to come, but of course with importing things, it will take a while. So as you see, I haven't opened it yet. So let's crack it open and see what we're dealing with. Open, and as we get into the box, as you see, first we've got the extra paper. Then this video is not sponsored, but I am a big fan of Novritsch products, so everything that you're being seen here has come out of my own money. So I also bought this with the short barrel kit, so I'll just show you. So it comes with the shorter inner barrel, shorter handguard. I opted for the shorter blue outer barrel, blue trigger, and the blue fire selector. And the wrench for disassembling the barrel nut on the end of the Mark 2. So put those colored bits there, move the box to the side. So inside the box, this is the side it comes with. I'll show you first. So that's the side on the bottom, that's the way it goes there. And that is the nice cover art for the Mark II. FPS adjuster ring, so just in case the FPS is a bit lower when if I change out for the shorter barrel, then these can account for that. So just nice to have for something else. So as you unbox it, like so, just see we've got some tabs here. So when you open it up, this layer here, and this is the Mark II. So I'll just move the camera over so you can see it a little bit better. See if we can get the box to stay open. So this is what you'll see when you first unbox it. So you've got the manual just there. You've got the replica, of course, the magazine, and this is also featuring the new Novritsch mags that I believe they're 225 rounds, but these ones also have the indicator there, so you can see you've still got BBs, and you can also see on the bottom there if you've got ammo, as well as for marking it, which is pretty nice to see. Then also inside the box we've got an Allen key, a large one, a small one, and I'm not sure if that's also some smaller O-rings for something, but we'll see. And there's also that adjuster tool which you can use to adjust the trigger sensitivity. So I'll just close that up. So then pop this back here. Then I'll leave the camera back here. So I'm taking out the replica out of the box. So first, just rotate it up, so. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but if you want it to be nicely inside, so this is what the replica looks like, Mark II. It's got a nice bit of weight to it. adjustable stock, of course. So you've also got the magnetic dust cover, which you press there to release, and you can access your hop-up unit there, which is numbered, which is nice. The magnet is very nice for sure. So have the Mark II out of the box now, and as you can see, it's a very nice M4. So what makes the Mark II different is, of course, you had the option before of having it with full metal or polymer. So this one now only comes in full metal, but take the mag out just so you can see it without the mag as well. So gun has a safe, semi and full auto function, and we do have it no battery in, of course, so just do some semi just so you know. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice gun. You can see it's got some QD sling points, so one here, one on the opposite side. You've also got one on the stock here and on the opposite side as well, and you've even got one at the bottom there if you'd also want to use that. So yeah, that is what it looks like so far. What's new with the SSR4 Mark II? So you've got a reinforced gearbox shell, you've got a modular trigger with adjustable pre-travel and resistance. So that is the trigger here, which you can adjust. So you've got 25 rounds per second with a 11.1 volt battery, which we'll be testing later. You've got a quick exchange spring system, a programmable electric trigger unit. So you can program if you want to go for like binary fire, if you want to set to burst, or have some different settings with that, including like pre-cocking, for example. It's got an adjustable bolt plate, so you can have it so the bolt comes covering the hop unit, or you can have it so it's just set to here. I think it's better to have it just set to here, so when you pull the charging handle back, then you can see the hop unit a lot easier. You don't have to hold the charging handle the whole time. It's got an ambidextrous mag release, so right hand side there, and on the left hand side as well, you've also got the same. It's also wired to Dean's, which out of the box is very nice, of course, as I found that Dean's batteries are more reliable for me. It also has a flash hider as so, which when you're removing it, you have to undo this screw here first, and it's got an arrow that points to get it straight, because it's one of these angled ones. So if you want it to match the be to the correct orientation, then yeah, the arrow's there for that. It also has some M-lock space here and all around that you can use if you want to add any different things to it. Adjustable stock, of course, like so. So you've got the different lengths to it. Usually I run only to like one setting, if it's me personally, to get a nice shouldering of the rifle with it. Also included with it is, this one comes with their the Novritsch M4 mags, the newer ones, which are 225 rounds. They've got a window here so you can actually see how much ammo you've got left, as when the springs come up to like here, then you know that you don't have much ammo left. And also at the bottom there, you can also see how much ammo is, if you've got ammo in it, and also if you've got the number spacing there, if you like. It's also a very nice textured mag, which is very nice to see. But yeah, I'm happy it came with this, as looking on the website at the moment, it says the capacity is 140 BB. So I think I'm lucky that I managed to get it with the 225 round one, which separately usually would cost 19 euros. So that's very nice. Thank you, Novrich, for including that. Of course, I'll be changing the colored parts over, and yeah. To access the battery compartment at the back, you notch the stock to the end, and then you can see there's the tabs here. So you pull the tabs down on both sides as so, and it will just slide off like that, which reveals the inside of the buffer tube stock, which has the Dean's connector. So quickly fish that one out. So it comes out as so. And then when you're putting your battery in, it will go inside the buffer tube with the stock. So I'll quickly see if I can just show you. With this replica, as it is 11.1 volt compatible, I got the 11.1 volt 1450 milliamp battery, which is 30 EC, and it was around £20 from the Novritsch site. The price of this replica is €329, which 29 euros is around £287, which is a bit more expensive than your average M4, but if you consider how it's going to be shooting out of the box, as you can see, I do like Novritsch products. I use quite a few in my arsenal of weapons, my favourites being the SSR90, which is like a P90, and although there's options like the Crytek P90 or the Tokyo Marui one, the SSR90 actually comes with some features that just make it perform better out of the box than the other two, from what I've seen. And I've enjoyed using that replica for a while, so eventually I was going to pick an M4, and this is the M4 that I opted for, so I did go for the SSR4 MK2. I was considering the original SSR4 at the time, but I think when I was first starting out airsoft, I wanted to experiment with a few different platforms first, and then eventually when I decided, oh, I do want to get an M4 at some point, this was the one that I decided to go for. So I'll show you with the battery in. So now when we're connecting the battery is so, just pop the connector in like that, and we're going to slot the battery in as so into the buffer. Just going to stop the video first because I don't want to ruin wiring. So we're most likely going to go for it like this, and then we're going to put the stock over. So for me personally, I'm not really a big fan of buffer tube batteries, as I feel like it's a bit cramped to, you're a bit limited in what you can actually put in them. So just get this back on first. So now, and maybe to here, should be okay, as I believe it was reaching out to around here-ish. Maybe we can go one more. You see there's a bit of pressure now, so maybe we'll have to keep it at this length at the moment. So this actually features a electronic safety, so I'll quickly put this back up, magnetic, which is nice. It's some of them, for some M4 replicas, you have it that the dust cover is just floppy and barely works, so a magnetic cover is nice. So it's an electronic trigger, as we said, so on safe it will still travel the same distance as it would on semi. So we'll put it to semi now that we've got the battery in, so we'll get a listen of that. It's of course unloaded, but I'm pointing it to a safe distance away from me. I'll also put on glasses just so you know, just in case, as you never know. So glasses on like so. We'll point it to a safe direction away from us that wouldn't hit us if there was a ricochet. So testing out the semi. As you see, it's not that far of a trigger pull to get it to shoot anyway. And with the included tool, we can of course adjust how much how sensitive the trigger is before pulling. So that's the same. Okay, and into full auto just to hear a bit of that. So yeah, I do think the 25 RPS is probably correct, but we will of course test that in a second. So we'll put it back to safe, so you see nothing happens when you shoot. So yeah, it does sound nice, and like I said, that was like the main reason I was going for an M4 replica, as I do have of course a couple EPM magazines at the moment for when I'm running like a HPA adapter to M4. It's nice also to have a M4 replica, say if I have friends that I'm coming with who aren't as familiar with airsoft, then this would be the main rifle that I was planning to run, as well as if I'm lending to a friend, then they've got something nice to use out of the box. So I will put this down for a second. So we'll take out the battery, so extend it to the end, pull on both sides, it comes out. So most likely for me, I will change this to, I do like the PTS stock, so I have that on a KW Ronin recoil at the moment. So then we could just plug in the battery and it would sit like this inside the stock there, which I will hopefully be able to show you later. Of course, M4 buffer tube styles, so it should be cross compatible. And yeah, the stock it does come with is nice though. It's just a shame that if I wanted to have the battery into the stock as so, then it would have to be like this, and I'm not really planning on using it at like that long of a length. But yeah, meaning that you have to keep it inside this, like so, and then after connect the battery at the top. But bending the wires like this can be bad for the battery, so I would personally, change the stock out for me. So, and as you heard there, it does make a little beep when you do have the battery plugged in. So this is kind of how you have to have the wires, and in terms of length, then you can get the stock to about, let's see, you can get it to the second to last position being here, which is not too bad, but as I said before, I usually prefer running the stock completely collapsed. So maybe if I can figure out a way how to get this battery to fit a bit better inside, this is the recommended battery for it, so maybe there is a video on actually how to get this to efficiently fit. But I didn't see a lot of videos of the Mark II online, which is why it piqued my curiosity, and it's been out of stock for a while, but I'm glad to finally have my hands on one. So just pop that back, then pull that over. Go, that's it all the way in. And yeah, before we head out, I'm just going to load up the M4 magazine I came with. So I'm going to be using just a regular speed loader for this. I've got my .2s here. Yep, it's one of those days. So using a hopper just to get it nice. Try and minimize spillage where we can, but this BB pot I have is quite full. Some of these are not actually .2s in there, so we'll hope for the best as it's in my misc checker. So put it in the top, and of course we'll start to load it. So in my other videos, I will of course go over the different speed loader options you've got, so you don't have to go through this tedious process of loading your magazines, as there are better options out there. But today we're using just the regular one. And put the hopper back here. Anything that has fallen, don't worry, I will pick up later. So that should be enough. and we add these together. So as you can see, there's some BBs in the window there, and you've also got the indicator at the bottom to see. So then we will add some more. So of course, I might not have the key specs on this replica, as of course I'm a smaller creator, and this is more just a out-of-the-box review, so you can get the impression of what it's like, or the unboxing experience of getting this replica, and also see if it's something for you. So we should have at least around 200 in this, and I will now show it firing outside with the chrono. Also, so you can see I am actually picking up the BBs. So now I'll be demonstrating the replica firing. So first we will take the mag out, so inside there. So semi. So already the semi is pretty quick. Now I'll just shoot a couple shots through the chrono. As you can see, we've got a highest of 300 on the dot, then we've got 291.6, 301.1, 303.1, 289.3, 295.6, 296.6, 315, 293, 304. So the option I went for is the 0.9 to 1.2 joules, so it's shooting up from 311 to 344 FPS. Like I said, it is a mixed bunch of BBs in there, so some of these could be a bit higher than 0.2s, but we'll see. Demonstrate the full auto now. So and we'll do an RPS check as well. So as you can see, we're getting around 24, so it is close to the 25 mark, but yeah, solid. So we're going to be loading it up with some 0.28s and seeing how it does. So we'll set it to 190. Top. Should have around 185 to 190 BBs. So I'll just move you over to here. Fire a couple shots of semi and see what we're getting on our 0.28. Now. So we're getting 293 FPS on the 2.8, 0.12 joules. So I'll show you now. So 293 as the last one, 293, 291, 293, 293, 294. and we'll shoot a couple more shots through. So we've got, as you see, 290 FPS on a 0.28, and the joules is, let's see, we've got 1.09, 1.08, 1.09, 1.11, and test the RPS for you. So 23.7, 24.4, 24. So close enough to the 25 round per second claim. So after firing it, what are my thoughts? I'm pretty impressed with the performance. When I first tried to do it with my miscellaneous selection of, like, it could be from 0.2 to 0.28, I think because the chrono wasn't reading that, I then did it with just 0.28s that I knew from my Vanguard, so at least I know it's 2.8s on its own. And when I was testing it on 2.8s, it was shooting around 290 to 295, which I think is very bang on the limits. So if I do plan to actually switch it to the shorter inner barrel, then we shouldn't lose too much FPS. The joules it was shooting was around 1.12, and at the higher end and on the lower end, I think it was shooting still around 1.1. So it's very close on the joule limit there, running it on a 2.8. 2.8s are usually what I run. So if I change it to the shorter inner barrel and the other setup I was planning to do with it, then it will be sight legal. So at the moment, it's very much on the dot, which personally I think it's better to be like a decent bit under or a little bit under than like very much cutting it close to being on the dot of hot. Some sites they'll just say that, yeah, it's too hot to use. So I will of course have the readings on screen from what my experience was while testing it on 2.8s. So we'll just take the battery out as so. So just play like that, and then take the battery out as so. Put this back in. We will actually tuck it back in like how it came, just because when we're putting the stock on, we don't want to crush it. So we'll pull that way down as you get past the wall. So we'll do it just there, just to give a little bit of space. So out of the box, I do think this is a very good M4. I will also show it firing from a first person perspective, so you can see what it's like when adjusting the hop. I think what was for me, it was hop setting number 7. So the arrow has the hop number it's on. So hop number 7 was perfect for me with a 0.28. But if I had a longer range then I would show you it shooting further. So I think 0.28s are a good weight to run it on personally. Yeah, I do like this gun as it is, and of course I did buy a couple of the coloured parts which I will next move on to doing at some point, but this was mainly just to show you how the gun's performing out of the box. And would I recommend it? I would say so, yeah. I do think it is a good gun, and I would say for other AEGs that are costing around £300, I do think this is a good selection, as I think the main market this was supposed to be filling was if you're looking for an M4 that's going to be long lasting and you won't need to do as much to it. And I do think just as it is a fine gun to use as so, but what I would change to it for me personally is I would also go for the shorter handguard. I would change the, as I prefer a shorter replica. The stock, I'm not a fan of the buffer tube design. I do think it would be easier if it was one stock where the butt pad comes off and then you can plug in the battery or so and then just have it inside here. As I think if you need to tuck it in the tube and then also get the stock to come in, I think there is a chance that you might either crush the wires, which could damage the wiring, which would not be ideal. So yeah, the only things I would say that I'm not happy with for it is the stock and the battery space, as it's not the biggest. I mean, a 11.1 volt 1450 milliamp battery is a long-lasting battery and will last you a long time, but I think if it had a bit more generous space for the battery, I think that would be where I improve on it. How it fires out of the box is very nice, and if I was going for an M4 replica, I would recommend this one, as I do think it is a good product. What else to say? I will of course get a gameplay with the SSR4 MK2 when I get around to it, but for now, that was just me unboxing it, my first impressions of it, a firing demo just so you can see what it performs like out of the box. And yeah, I hope this has been helpful to you. I think YouTube's not a big fan of seeing you actually taking it apart yourself and like showing internals of airsoft guns, so I won't show it me actually like taking it apart and working on it. Of course I'll be watching it from the guides that are very helpful and on the Novritsch site, because I think taking apart your replicas is quite a difficult, and if you don't have the knowledge, I think it's very helpful to have videos like that which help you to know how to take them apart and put them. But I will show the end product when I've got that, and I'll do a updated video down the line of what I think of it after playing with it, and I'll show a gameplay with it when I've gone out and played with it. Like I said before, there isn't too many videos of it online, so it was a product that I was looking forward to getting, and as soon as I saw it was back in stock, I bought it straight away and bought it with the coloured parts, as I think it's nice to have some personality to your build. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful for you and helps you make the decision if the SSR4 MK2 is the right replica for you. And yeah, and if you'd like to leave a comment on what you think of the SSR4 MK2, and if you think what I've said has been helpful, or any advice you'd give to people who are considering buying something like this. First thing I'll be doing is changing out the stock, so take it to the end and pull this off as so. This is the stock I'll be putting on, so this is the PTS EPS stock which I had on my Ronin T10, which I've taken off now. So we'll just pop this here like so and pop it on. We need to pull up this, pull slightly more up, and it goes over like so. Now we'll click in, and now what we can do is we open up the battery compartment. We've got the Dean's connector here, so now we can access it from the rear. So just put in the battery as so. And now, usually when I'm using these, I actually put it in the buffer tube like so. So as you can see, this stock has the spaces here that you can also put, if you had a bigger battery, you could put the two there, or you could also have it down in this orientation like so, and then just move your wiring in. But for me personally, I think if you've got one like this, it's best to tuck it, just see around the side like so, in like so, and then you can just pop the cover on like that. And of course, after that, as you can see at the bottom, there's nothing in there. As you can see the red of the hop in there, so still works fine. And that would be the first change I'd make. So yeah, with this, it's a lot more convenient for your battery space, as well as I find when you're plugging the battery in from just taking off the rubber cover like so, it's a lot more simple. I'll show you what the inside of that space looks like. So you can see you can either put it in these spots here or put it down here. So yeah, that's the first change I would make to this. Of course, it doesn't actually let you go all the way in like this, but even like this, it's still pretty comfortable like so. Now I've changed it to the blue outer barrel. So this is what the regular outer barrel looks like in comparison. So as you can see, the blue one is a lot shorter. So you could then put the handguard back on, like so. Of course, you've got the gold bit inner barrel exposed, so you could go for something like this, where you use the integrated suppressor. And then go for the handguard. Might be, then you then screw it in place. So you could go for that sort of like integrated suppressor look, like kind of like a honey badger, but for me personally, I'm going to be taking off the longer handguard and swapping it for a shorter one. So take this off. So this is what it looks like now with the shorter barrel, shorter outer barrel and the suppressor with the shorter handguard, just so you can see what this version looks like, which I still think looks pretty cool. I do actually think it looks better when you've got the longer handguard on, and it gives it that honey badger kind of look. Another thing I noticed is the QD sling point that you have here and here isn't there on the shorter one, so that's something to consider, that you are losing those points if you do switch from this one. So as you can see, I have decided to go for still with the long barrel, but instead go for like the honey badger style, where you've got the suppressor integrated with the small, the blue shorter outer barrel. And on the other side now, you can see I've got the blue selector, so it's very nice and clicky, and the blue trigger installed. So that is my SSR4 MK2 build that I will be running, and yeah, we will see how it does on a game day. As always, thank you for watching. As you can see, I forgot to actually record an outro on the day, so just doing a voiceover now. Thank you for watching my unboxing and first impressions of the SSR4 MK2, and I hope it's been informative to you and that you'll stick around for more. So as always, like, subscribe for more, as it helps me to know that people are actually enjoying the videos. And you can drop a comment if you think what I've said is helpful, or any advice for anyone trying to buy the SSR4 MK2, or if you'd recommend any other M4s instead, as Of course, it is up to personal preference. Of course, this video isn't sponsored, but these are my own opinions of the replica so far, and hope to see you guys again soon.